Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Q&A show. My name is Bob Theriot, and thank you so much for joining me here tonight. I've got another dynamic guest. As always, I'm trying to bring on the people that can bring my audience value, especially if you own a business, if you're an attorney, chiropractor, you're a coach, you want to learn how to market your business, you want to learn strategies and the latest techniques, cutting edge strategies. And these are the type of people that I want to bring on to help you grow your business. But before I get started, you guys, if you could do me a favor, if you can go ahead and hashtag live so that we know you're here, that also helps us get the word out. And if you happen to be watching this show in replay mode, hashtag replay. That also helps us out. And don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that share button. We really appreciate it if you do that for us. Also, just a little tidbit. We go live. We try to go live the same time every week, but things happen. Sometimes we add additional bonus shows. Sometimes we have to alter the schedule. So if you guys can go to your Facebook page and make sure that you add us to your notification list, you can actually do that. You can add us to your most favorite page, and we'll pop up there every time we go live. So thanks again for joining us here. Tonight's show is going to be brought to you by Success Rocket Marketing. So if you're looking to grow your business, look them up at successrocketmarketing.com. They'll be able to help you. And let me tell you a little bit about my next guest. He is a two-time national award-winning entrepreneur and a two-time national best-selling author. He is also a keynote speaker and a digital marketer himself. Let me introduce you to Mr. Horace Reis, everyone. Mr. Horace Reis, and he's coming up there. Hey, Horace, how you doing, bud?
Hey, Bob. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much. I'm excited. I've heard a lot of great things about your show.
Oh, that's nice to hear. So can you do me a little favor here? Tell my audience a little bit about you, your background. They know you're a digital marketer. Just a little bit background.
Yeah. So originally I'm from Bosnia, immigrated here in 2001. My parents did. I was 7. I always had everything I wanted to when I was little. Not like I was starving or anything like that, but a typical immigrant story. Parents were always gone because they were working all the time. And I realized I should help them. So what I did was I got a job when I was 12, first business at 14. Fast forward till I was about 21, 22. I was traveling all around the world to seminars, trying to learn as much as I can, get around the right people, because I realized I can't do it on my own. So I got around all the right people, the mentors, and then I had my first success. I had my first 6 business company in 10 months, which was fun. At 21, it took 10 months to get there. And then from there, I worked with Gary Vaynerchuk.
That's fast, Horace, okay? That's fast.
From there, I worked with Gary Vaynerchuk. I landed an internship with him. That lasted about 3 months. I learned a lot, came back to Omaha, Nebraska, which is where I live now. Dropped out of college. My mentor asked me to run his software company, software as a service. Got that into 30 countries, and now I have a consulting and social media agency. That's kind of the background.
That's a lot. That's a mouthful right there.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the Gary Vaynerchuk stuff real quick, because you kind of just touched on it. I mean, a lot of people would kill to have that job, right? I mean, Anybody that's in digital marketing or in the marketing space at all, they know who Gary V is. So can you just tell us a little bit about how your experience was there? What did you do there?
Yeah, everything. Well, my very first day when I got there, not even 5 minutes, the brand director, his name is Andy. He said, Horace, what do you want to do? And I said, I don't know. I just got here, find a spot to sit. Because at Gary's old office, he's at Hudson Yards now. It's massive. But his old office was full. There was no desks. You kind of had to sit on the floor. You had to sit anywhere you really could
to
work. So I was like, I don't know. I'll find my own spot. And he's like, well, Hulk Hogan is coming into the office. You want to sit in with us? I was like, did you say Hulk Hogan? As in Hulk Hogan? And then he's like, yeah. I was like, okay, sure. And then I sat in with Hulk Hogan and Gary, and that was my first time meeting Gary and Hulk in the same room. And Gary, within 10, 15 minutes of the meeting, goes, Horace, you're new here. You tell Hulk what would you do? I was like, is he talking to me? I guess I am Horace. Listen here, Hulk. Listen here, brother.
I don't even know yet.
So yeah, that was great, man. I did marketing. I did a lot of paid media, emails. I built the VaynerMedia, or what was his name? What was the name of the group? There was some Facebook group. I had about 1,000 people. I had to create content for that. I had to do content calendars. I learned a lot about YouTube and SEO and how to grow a YouTube channel, how to position videos, how to get organic views, paid views. I did Google ads. So I did about everything.
That sounds really, really cool. So what was your next step? So you get some experience, right? You do some stuff with Gary Vee. So I know you've written some books, right? So you've written a couple of #1 bestsellers, right? So how do you get from working with Gary Vee to I'm going to write some books? What's your transition?
Yeah, so the books were before Gary.
Okay.
The books, I realized I was at an event and I realized everyone kept saying, in order to speak on stage, you have to write a book. I'm like, this is crazy. Why is that a thing? Why do I have to write a book to go speak on stage to share knowledge? And then I realized, okay, whatever, I'll go write a book. So I spent 6 days. I figured out how to write a book, how to publish a book, how to get on Amazon. It didn't hit bestseller, and it wasn't the best book. It had grammatical errors in it, but something's better than nothing. And I was also, age is no excuse because there's 15-year-olds making millions now. I was younger, and I didn't know how to outsource. I didn't know how to get people to help me at a cost-effective rate. So I just kind of did it all on my own. And English wasn't my best language. So I just got something out there rather than nothing. But I did go back to all those people that told me, hey, you have to be an author to be on my stage. I went back to all of them and said, hey, look at my book. Now my book was like this big, so I only held it one way so they didn't see how thick it was.
Right.
But I was like, hey guys, look at my book. And what I did was I went to Barnes and Noble and I put my book right next to Tony Robbins' book. I put a couple of them around there so it looks like Barnes and Noble is selling my book. And I was like, guys, look, it's in Barnes and Noble, which it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, now what? Now can I get on your stage? And a couple of them actually brought me on stage. Some of them were paid, which was pretty cool because I spent time developing the book and marketing it and getting back to the people that told me no and rejected me. It took time and effort to get back to them, and they brought me up on stage, and some of them even paid me.
So was your goal to get on stage? And if it was, what did you want to teach?
Back then, yeah. And it was all about mindset because I realized when I was younger, when I was getting all around, when I was going to seminars and getting around all of these people, they all think a certain way. And I kept seeing patterns, and I kept seeing ways that they do things and ways they network, communicate with people, communicate with their teams. Right. I said, okay, I see a pattern. A lot of people probably don't invest the crazy amounts I did when I was young because every dollar I made, I would spend $2 to get out to somewhere, to get around the right people. It's like, okay, I should write a book about this, and I should go talk about this because I'm realizing that I'm getting into any circle I want anywhere in the world because of my networking skills, and I'm seeing the same things happening in these circles. So I shared that.
So what are the commonalities that you see? You say you've been around a lot of people, you see them with the same type of mindset, right? The mentality. What is it that you've noticed? What have you picked up on?
Well, now it's changed since back then, but the one common trait is they're action takers. Anyone listening live now is an action taker. I mean, people that watch the replay are as well, but it's always different when you show up live and you move things around. Those people are action takers. And Bob, even for you, I'm willing to do something. I don't know what yet, but for the people that are here live, I'll do something, and we can think of that thing.
Right.
But the action takers, the way they treat people, I realize there's a lot of people that have a lot of wealth, especially now. This is more clear now than ever because I'm around very wealthy people all the time now. That's what I would like to aspire to be. But I see some of them, and they're under a bottle of vodka every night. I'm like, that's not a way I want to live.
It's very common. That's very common.
Way more common than most people think. And I don't want that for me. And I also noticed that some people are wealthy and they're rude to people. Also not what I want. I'm just as nice to a CEO of a multi-million-dollar company as I'm the janitor, the guy that cleans my office. And as a matter of fact, the janitor that cleans my office loves coming to my office first because I always greet him. I'm so energetic when I see him. I give him water. I'm like, hey, man, thank you so much for taking the trash out. I'm there. He's just a person. He's hustling just like all of us are.
Right.
That's the people I want to be around now, is the people who are fulfilled, happy, kind to others, and also, are pretty monetarily satisfied because it does take money to do things in life.
So are you still teaching mindset? Are you focused, because you're a digital marketer, so are you focused more on your agency and your clients? And if so, what are you doing?
Yeah, now I focus more on that. And a big shift in today's marketing is automation. Everyone wants to automate everything. People are making messenger bots. And they take out the human element for some reason. They think a bot solves all. And bots are great. especially for getting a quick answer that a human can answer, but you get your answer right away. If I
Mhm.
message, I don't know, some company and I need my answer right now, I don't care if it's a bot or a person that answers. I just want my answer.
Right.
But people
Well,
want
that's society now. It's right. They're very impatient.
very impatient, but
Yeah.
we also want to automate absolutely everything and act like we're talking to that person. For example, people will act like they're you. With a
Mhm.
messenger bot, let's say you want to talk to Horace, and I have a team and I kind of have a filter service, but my bot doesn't say I'm Horace. My bot says, "Hey, I'm Sophie. I'm Horace's bot. I can take care of most of your needs. If I can't, I'll send it over to the team who can answer your question
Right.
once they get back to the office." But most people want to act like they're the bot and that they're interacting with you personally when they're really not, and it doesn't convert very well.
So your advice to people that are using these bots, and if you guys don't know, there's these messenger bots, especially in Facebook Messenger, you can set up to automate all of the interaction with you. So what Hars is saying basically is a lot of people are faking it and they're trying to act like they're responding to you and they're actually not. So I guess the recommendation you would give is be honest with your prospects of people that are coming to your messenger and saying, hey, we're a bot, but we're going to try to help you out. And if you want to talk to someone real, we'll contact you. Correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
The highest converting name is Sophia, so don't all go stealing it. But the highest converting name is Sophia. But just put a name on it. Make it fun
Mhm.
and exciting. It's a text message. Just make it fun. Business doesn't have to be super professional.
So do you see a lot of people coming to you and your agency and your team asking you to build out these bots? Are you specializing in bots now, or what is it that you're specializing in?
Bots, Facebook ads. I've generated millions of dollars for clients this year, past 4 months alone, for one client, and paid media on Facebook. We do LinkedIn automations, Instagram,
Mhm.
obviously everything I learned from Gary Vee, doing the YouTube side of the house. So anyone wanting to really build a brand, I help with.
And what are you seeing? Most of your clients, are you niched out yet? Or are you just helping a lot of small local businesses?
I have the pleasure of my network kind of coming to me, asking me
Mhm.
for help. So I haven't really niched out and went out to find prospects. It was more or less like, okay, I'm not doing the software as a service thing anymore. Now I can help all these people asking for my help. And this, niche somewhere in the celebrity space, somewhere in the personal branding space, somewhere in the e-com space. And I just kind of help them because of the relationship I have with them. And that's where I am right now.
That's awesome. And so, what do you see the biggest challenges with businesses right now? What are people coming to you with? You said earlier automation.
Mhm.
What are they? Of course, and I asked Neil Patel this. I'm like, what do people ask? I asked him almost the same question I asked you. He said they just want to make money. They just want to make money. They want to know that whatever they're putting into their marketing, it's going to come back to them. So yes, that makes sense. But in a more micro, right? Let's take a little micro here. What is it more that they're asking for? Can you do
I
you have
can
a gauge on that?
Yeah, it's money is important, but every dollar you put in, you're not going to get $2 out right away. Uh,
Right.
I live a very fun lifestyle, but it's taken me 10 years to get here. I mean, the last month I was just in Vegas alone. I came back. I was telling you this about, before jumping on. I was in
Mhm.
Vegas for about a week, came home to move apartments for a day and a half, 2 days, and then I was off to Cabo, Mexico for 2.5 weeks. It's a very fun life, but it's taken me 10 years to get here. Everyone wants something today. They want their automation to work today. They want one test. They want one bot, and they want it to just work right away without tweaking and realizing it's going to take time. They run one ad and they're like, "Oh man, this doesn't work. Facebook ads don't work. I don't like this. I'm wasting money."
Right.
Whereas, okay, this test didn't work. You found one way to not make it work. Let's try a different way. And that's why having a proven mentor that knows what they're doing in your corner helps because they can guide you.
Right. And Mario Richard Facchini is saying, hey, love seeing this, Bob. Great show, great topic. Thanks, Mario, for watching. We really appreciate that. Yeah. And, just to put my 2 cents in what you're saying or piggyback, I think people are impatient when it comes to advertising and marketing. And they think that we as marketers have a magic wand and it's changing dramatically. Marketing is just changing, digital marketing is changing. And a lot of people have forgotten that even though we can drive traffic, then it's up to you to convert that traffic, whether that be a phone call, a face-to-face call, or whatever it is, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's some e-commerce businesses where you can have tripwires and things
Yeah.
that are working, and I can get real technical with that. But eventually, if you're selling a high-ticket item, eventually you're going to have to jump on the call with someone. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially for high ticket, you have to get on a phone call.
Yeah, it's going to happen, and people give up way too quick with advertising and marketing. It does take a little bit of time, and you know where I see in my or the businesses that we see is that, and they're really stuck. A lot of businesses, especially personal injury attorneys and HVAC companies, still are stuck with the billboard mentality and print media. It blows my mind that they still will buy a lot of billboards and not hold the company to accountability as far as numbers, right? It's just it's weird. I don't know what you see, but that's what I see.
Oh, billboards. Bob, do you follow Billie Jean at all?
I know who he is,
Yeah.
but I really don't follow him. But I know who he is.
Man, he's one of my favorite people. He's fantastic at paid media. But he did this one thing. You mentioned billboard. I just thought of it, and it's pretty funny. He said, "Man, I ran a billboard once. It cost me $30,000 to run 3 billboards for I think it was either a week or a month in San Diego." Bob, guess how much money he made off of those billboards?
I'm gonna say zero, but I don't know.
It was about $3,000.
$3,000. Okay.
And he's like,
close to zero.
Yeah, but after you spend 30,000, yeah, that's not good. That's a negative minus 7,000. Yeah. But you know what I did do though? I rented my friend's helicopter. I flew around. I videoed my billboards in San Diego. I ran a Facebook ad, and guess what? Millions of dollars later, boom, there it goes. That's what the society we live in today.
So you okay? So explain this to me again. So you bought billboards for your business?
No, Billie Jean did. It was a video.
Oh, he did for his own billboards, right?
Yeah, for one of his ad courses.
And then he
rented
it with a helicopter and then put that on social media, right?
Right.
So that's kind of like out of home marketing, right? Where he had the billboard and then he put it in another platform. So
adaptive. That's the biggest skill set you can have as a marketer is ability to adapt to the marketplace and always showing something different. Billie Jean, his ads are like no one else's online because it's so different, and he adapted to the economy and the way it's shifting.
And it's always shifting, right? It's going to be changing, like you say. I mean, Facebook tomorrow, if you guys are out there and you're building a huge platform just on Facebook or just on Instagram, they can change the algorithm tomorrow, and they do it. You see it happens all the time, and your whole platform can collapse, right? So you got to still be building emails, phone numbers, contacts. I mean, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, pixeling everything, because Facebook, Cambridge Analytica, no one saw that coming, and then a couple months later, all the behavioral data was gone. And every marketer was worried about how to do this.
Oh yeah, for sure. How are you doing with, what do you think about retargeting and ad displays? Do you like that?
It takes someone on average 7 times seeing your presence somehow, some way in order to buy from you. And they they visit Facebook 18 times a day on average. This is the average human. And then 24 times on Instagram every day. Messenger bots, I get 98% open rates and like 85% click-through rates. That's insane. And I pixel people. I can retarget people based on what they do with my bot. I go where they are. If they're checking Facebook 18 times a day and Instagram 24 times a day, that's where I'm going to go. If they check XYZ social media platform tomorrow, because that's where they are, I'm going to advertise there. I'm not attached to any platform. I'm attached to where my audience is.
So let's run someone through a little, I don't know if you want to call it a case study, but if somebody wanted to run a messenger bot, let's not talk about the bot. Let's assume they have a bot. How do you get the traffic to the bot? Are you still building out customized audiences and then having them, instead of learn more, you're going to have them hit the messenger button? Is that what you do?
There's a couple different ones now. With ManyChat's the one I use. I think there's a couple other tools, but I've always used ManyChat. And what they do is you have a messenger ref URL is what it's called. It's just basically a URL, a landing. You can have a landing page, and you can have comment ads. So if they comment, I can send them a message inside of Messenger. So you can pick which one you want. You can do what I would do is test all of them and then just ramp up the one that's working. But those are the different types of ads. You can do comment ads. You can do a landing page or ref URL one. And they're always coming out with new ones. They have growth tools where you can put a bar on top of your website saying, hey, you'd have to come up with more compelling copy than this, but hey, do you want the latest Facebook marketing tips and tricks?
Yeah, and where I see people fail with the bots is all this stuff that you're talking about. They have a bot built and then they may run a few ads, but they're not putting it like that link, that hyperlink. They're not putting it on their website. They're not putting it on different, their signature on their email. You need to get that out there. You've got to market that link to get people to opt into that messenger bot, correct?
Yeah, it's still new. And what I see with a lot of marketers that they're doing is they still want to send email long messages in Messenger. No one's going to read that. Messenger, the reason I get such good rates is open rates is because everything's, I don't know, 7 words or less. It's a text message. Right. If I sent you a text message and it's a paragraph long, book long, you're not going to read it. You're going to skim through and go, okay, cool. And that's from a friend. Now I'm a stranger marketing to you online. Are you going to read my paragraph? Probably not. But if it's a fun and engaging conversation that's exciting, are you going to engage with me? More than likely.
For sure. So what about Instagram? How you said you did some Instagram stuff. And Hadil actually told me, she said he has some good Instagram hacks. Yeah. So I remember that comment. So can you talk a little bit about Instagram?
Yeah, of course. So Instagram, there's a lot of people that are buying followers. Well, Bob, let me ask you this. What's more important to you, having 1 million followers that are, with 0.01% that are engaged, or 100,000 with 10% engaged?
Yeah, the 100,000 with the 10% engaged.
Right. People get too attached to the numbers. They're like, I want 1 million followers. And I actually recently learned from one of the mentors that I hired, which Hadil actually just joined me in the group after, I think I mentioned him on her podcast. But Brandon Kane, he helped build Taylor Swift's brand and Rihanna's and MTV's. He knows content curation at a big level. And he said, okay, cool. You want 1 million followers. What are you going to do with that? You have to know kind of what you want. Why do you want so many? What type of people do you want? Shout outs work well. Creating shout out videos work well. There's a lot of tools out there. One thing I encourage you not to do is to buy followers just to get a number. Get engaged people. I'm doing it really slowly because I'm messaging people and I'm actually looking at their own profiles. And I'll involve that human element. If you use a bot, I use a bot for my Instagram and it works great. But my bot doesn't do what most marketers do versus, most marketers will go on a page and say, hey, love your page. Follow me.
Great pick.
Yeah,
see that one a lot.
Thanks.
I'm like, that's not even a picture.
Right. So what I do is I train my bot, again, Sophia, it's my girl. My Sophia goes out and says, hey, I'm Sophia. I'm Horace's bot. He's trained me to find the coolest pages on Instagram, and I really like yours. Is it okay if I connect you guys on a messenger in a message? Is it cool if I DM you and Horace and you guys can connect? And then I'll actually look at the profiles that Sophia's connecting me to, and I'll actually go through manually. Yeah, I'm doing manual work. Imagine that, 2019. And I'll go through their profile, and I'll actually look at their photos and comment, hey, I really like this. It'd be a thoughtful comment. It won't just be a pick. If they say something about business, I'll engage with that. And I'll like a couple of their photos, and then I'll move on. Now, the thing people get upset about is I'll do that to, 50 profiles, 2 respond. 2 end up being connections.
Right. Well, I mean, it's a slow build.
Right, but my audience of 1,300 is more engaged than people's audience of 10,000.
Yeah. You see that all the time.
Right.
You could just go look at people's pages. They have no engagement at all.
None. I mean, I was pitched to go on somebody's show, and they're like, we have 300,000 followers. I was like, cool, send me links. And I see 5 likes and 1 comment.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, your audience means nothing to me.
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
1 person, great, but you shouldn't be pitching me, I have 300,000 followers. You should be pitching me, hey, I'm trying to build an engaged audience. I think you make a great guest. Can you come on?
And, organic's going to be pulled back on all platforms. So what's never going to go away is paid ads. So if you're willing to invest in, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, you will always have a big reach. And that's just something that I talk to my clients about all the time. How many people do you want to reach? Because we could reach them, right? But we're going to buy those ads. We're going to put those ads in front of customized target audiences just for your business.
Oh, yeah. And it's still relatively inexpensive for what you're getting. It's the price of it is going to keep rising. So if you're going to learn it, you should learn it today while it's still inexpensive to learn, while you can test, because it costs real tangible money to test things. But you should learn today because it's only going to get more expensive, and the people that are early adapters are the ones who are going to win. I've been doing this since 2007 on Facebook.
So for people that are out there that are in business that are still not engaging or not using social media and digital marketing, let's just say digital marketing, would you still give them the advice that it's not too late? Because I definitely do.
It's definitely not too late. You get in. I mean, there's always going to be another social media platform. The way you market, you're always going to have to keep thinking of new angles. Billie Jean exploded last year maybe, and now he has millions of followers. He quite literally sold nothing once. He has an ad. I don't know if you've seen it. You probably haven't, but he has an ad where it's just his hands like this, and it sells you nothing, and people buy it. There's ways you can be creative and a unique marketer, and you need to start today if you want to really become great in several years.
He's teaching other marketers, right?
Yeah.
How to market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's where I see a lot of success, is where people are teaching the stuff, right?
Yeah.
Just courses and things like that.
I'm trying to get into it. I'm just so addicted to doing versus teaching.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely being an infopreneur is a big thing now.
And even I have a couple of courses, that I teach, but I don't really push them all that much because I'm so concerned about my actual on the ground clients,
Right.
That's what I like doing. That's what I think is fun, but to each their own, right? If you can do it, if you can pull it off, but everything takes work.
Oh, everything takes work.
Building your business is going to take a lot of work. I think the young people, hustlers, even the millennials, you're a millennial, there's a lot of hustlers out there, but some of them still don't know that it's going to take a lot of work. Sometimes it's going to take you 10 years to build up enough sweat equity for somebody to notice you and for you to actually build a good portfolio and proof that you're actually who you say you are. What I see too much is people follow the wrong people, and they're teaching the same techniques over and over and over, and they've changed 6 months ago, and so they're outdated now. Mm-hmm. You see that too?
Oh yeah, all the time. Where whatever they're teaching, you can always tell who's really in the marketplace by what they're saying and what they're doing. Because if you're just teaching, I can tell almost instantly if you're not genuine and you really aren't doing what you're saying you're doing, or if you're living into like 6 years ago or 6 months ago even. Someone tells me, "Oh, I'm doing this behavior data on Facebook." Someone the other day was on a call with me, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I tested this behavior data on Facebook." And I wanted to call them out on the call and go, "Oh, really? Because behavior data has been gone on Facebook for like 5.5 months. Please tell me how you're doing this."
That's funny. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what's your latest book about.
Yeah, so I'm actually making another one, but my latest book was published about 3 years ago. It's called Life in the Fast Lane. What we did was we interviewed a bunch of really successful people, from Jeff Hoffman, who founded Priceline, which is, I don't know, $76 billion company now. I have no idea how big it is. It's huge, though. He founded that, and he founded the automated ticketing systems at airports. So when you go to print your own ticket, he invented that too. Kevin Harrington was on Shark Tank. Mark Black is one of the leading millennial entrepreneurs. He's kind of like a Lewis Howes, but younger, is a good way of putting it. So we interviewed a bunch of them, and we put them into different chapters. Their stories into one chapter, so you can take away a lot of golden nuggets from each person's story, and they're all different. So no matter what industry you're in or what age you are, you can relate to someone's story at some point and take a nugget away.
That's awesome. It's always cool to talk to people that are doing better than you and that are successful, because I always say you can learn something from everyone you meet, regardless if they're successful or not, because you can learn the mistakes that they made, right? And they always say that you don't always have to make the mistake. You can learn from others' mistakes too. And you're going to fail. You're going to fail in business and marketing and whatever you're doing. Every failure is one step closer to success.
Yeah, I fail all the time. I failed. Even today, I'm helping clients with book launches. And I've taken 13 and a half hours to figure out what categories to use, because there's so many fake marketers using fluff categories. It's making it hard to really become a real Amazon bestseller now, because they're fluffing it. And I've taken a long time today. And it's a failure because I told a client I'll have it done yesterday, and I still don't.
Right. You have to work through it.
Right. It's a process. It's a grind.
And you said that you were going to write another book? Did you mention you were coming out with something?
Yeah, that's on the list of to-dos. Or I call them to achieves. I don't call them to-dos. The to-do list seems like it's work.
What do you call them?
To achieves.
To achieves. Okay, that's good. Good verbiage there. Good verbiage.
Oh, yeah. What you say to yourself, it matters what you say to yourself. Yeah. So, yeah, I call them to achieves, and it's on the list there. And I'm not really sure exactly what the main topics will be or anything, but I know I need to get another one out there that's more updated, because I've gone through a lot in the past 4.5 years where I can teach a lot of people and help them not go through the mistakes I've gone through.
That's super cool. Super cool. So for people here, I have a lot of real estate agents. I have a lot of local business owners, attorneys, HVAC companies that watch the show. I mean, there's a gamut of things they can do, right? But if you had to give like maybe 1 or 2 tips for them tomorrow to change their business or start seeing little incremental changes, what would that be? What would you recommend that they do first?
Well, my social media agency, what we're doing right now is auditing a lot, and we notice a lot of people have retargeting, but they don't actually retarget. Like they have that pixel, but they
Mhm.
don't retarget.
Are you talking
So
about the Facebook pixel or are you talking about like an ad roll or Google pixel?
no, Facebook pixel.
Okay.
But I noticed that they don't actually do it. So retargeting is huge, and you should definitely start retargeting. And
Mhm.
I don't know about you, Bob, but I hear this all the time. I'm a local business. I need feet in the door. I need foot traffic. I had a restaurant once tell me this nonsense. They're like, "Oh, Facebook won't work for me. I need people ordering food. What am I going to do? Take a picture of food and put it as an ad?" I said, "No, there's ways you can do this. For example, when someone walks into your restaurant for the first time, you have the server ask them, 'Hey, is this your first time at my restaurant?' If they say yes, you give them a white napkin, but they don't, the customer doesn't know this, but you put a white napkin on their table so when their server walks over, hey, welcome, I hope, some verbiage along, welcome, I know this is your first time, my name's Horace, I'll be your server today. If it's their second time, you put a green napkin on there, or if it's their third or more, you put an orange. So every time they come back, they're like, if it's a second time customer, repeat, hey, thank you so much for coming back. I hope you guys enjoyed your first visit. Obviously did since you're back. What'd you guys have the first time? Do you remember? Oh, okay, you had this. Well, you definitely should try this next because it's a completely different flavor than that, and I think you'd like it. And then third, if they come back for a third time, they're coming back forever. I hear that all the time. We're like, oh, that's such a great idea. I've never thought of that. Brick and mortar stores don't think that they can use online advertising to generate sales. Where if they did, they could be much, much bigger, much faster.
I read a statistic that only 9% of local businesses are using retargeting right now.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It's crazy because if you think about, the big brands, right? The Tides, right? Detergent, Ford, all the big car makers, everybody's using retargeting. And when you go to your a website or whether it be Facebook or your local television channel and you see their ad pop up, it's because you've touched something on them. They've got your pixel.
Right.
And people they still don't get it. They don't get how powerful it is.
Well, the fact that it takes 7 times for you to see one brand in order to purchase something, that should say enough.
I think that business owners actually think that the marketers are making up these numbers sometimes. And they think they don't believe it, right? Back in the day, like I put an ad in the newspaper or I ran a radio ad and my phone rang. Well, that was back 20 something years ago before the internet. I also read a statistic where people are getting something like 15 to 20,000 commercial advertisements a day. You're interrupted so many times. So people's attention spans are so small and so little. You have to be putting their brand in front of them constantly for them to remember your name, your business name.
And here's an example, Mario. Well, I'd love to hear your input too. But Bob, when's the last time you ever bought something seeing an ad for the first time?
Never.
I can't even tell you when I did. Mario, you? I'm sure I know the answer.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to take a while, right?
So that stat can't be made up. I'm sure everyone else that's listening as well. I mean, I can't remember last time I bought something for the first time. Sometimes it'll take more touches. Sometimes it takes less touches. You have to hit the person at the right time. Most people have families or whatever, kids, or life happens, or dates, or whatever, gym, and they see your ad and they're like, "Oh, okay, cool. I want to follow up with this later," but they forget. So it's your job, as a marketer, to follow up with them and be in front of them all the time, but in a non-obnoxious way.
Right. No, for sure. I agree. I think that retargeting right now is the way to go, and putting that pixel in is working. I just think people need to. It's something that's kind of new. It's not really new, but for local business, it is. And Mario did answer your question here. He said at least a couple of times.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, most people don't have to run retargeting as crazy targeted as I do, where I have a pixel for, the original page, a thank you page, and I run very complex retargeting. You don't have to necessarily do that. Just hire some marketer to do that. But most people that are very not tech savvy can install a pixel on their website, add it to Facebook, and run an ad. You don't need to be an expert marketer to do this.
Right.
And retargeting, you can run it as low as $5 a day.
For sure.
You don't have to run thousands of dollars. I mean, everyone can afford $5 a day in business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any other quick tips? Anything else you could think people should be looking out for or doing tomorrow?
What we'll do, here's what I'll do on Instagram. I'll give a couple tools that I use. I think that might help. On
Okay.
Instagram, there's an app. It's free. It's called When to Post.
Okay.
And When to Post analyzes your profile and your audience, and it figures out when they are the most engaged. And it tells you when to post. Good name, right? It tells you when to post your content. So for my own profile, everyone's profile is different. Mario, yours is going to be different. Bobby, yours is going to be different than mine. We're all going to be different, I think.
Right.
So I know that my audience is most engaged at night. And I've tested it with it, without it. I've tested it for clients who have hundreds of thousands of followers. I've tested it for mine. And the app always seems to know exactly when to post. And it's free. So I follow that religiously now. There's also another one. If you're wanting to do shout outs on Instagram and build your following and do the bots, there's a couple. I use InstaZood, but I get all of the things you can get. I think a couple are like $5, but there's 6 different things you can get for $5. I get all of it. So you can comment, DM, follow, unfollow, all the whole shebang. So I use them personally. And then another one is an Instagram calculator. So if you're wanting to get on bigger pages and get shout outs, and someone's saying, oh, hey, I have an audience of 1 million plus, and it's going to cost this much to get in front of my audience for 24 hours. I run it through my Instagram calculator because I was pitched once to get in front of this guy had like 2.3 million, but he had 0.003 engagement.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, I think my page gets better engagement than that.
The average local business owner is not going to know to look that up, though. That's why I'm glad you're here to tell them.
Yeah. No, these are important things because I don't want you guys getting ripped off because there's a lot of marketers out there. That guy tried to pitch me for like $1,500 for a 24-hour shout out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, to get in front of that many people? Heck no. I'll go to Facebook and I'll do it myself for way less, a fraction.
Run an ad. Just run an ad.
Yeah, I was like, no. And then, someone else pitched me with, I think they had like 25,000 followers and they had like 15% engagement. I was like, okay, let's do it. So that's what I do. I do shout out videos. I'm happy to send you an example, Bob, if you want to give it to your audience.
Sure.
I'm definitely happy to do that for you.
Post that on the Q&A Facebook page.
Yeah, I'll do that. But that's what I'll do. And they're really, really good. I think Mario messaged us for Apple.
Yeah, I'll put it on the screen here.
Got it.
At least a couple. Yeah. I can't bring that part up. It's too long.
And then if you're an agency,
Apple, he put the hyperlink there.
Yeah. There's for Facebook, we can switch gears, go to Facebook for a second. I mean, Bob, do you want me to give tips on 2 or 3 softwares that I use for each channel? YouTube,
absolutely.
Facebook? Okay.
Yeah.
Don't get me going though. This might be a while. On Facebook, there's this thing called Facebook Pixel Checker, Pixel Helper, and it checks if a company has a pixel on there. So if you're an agency, first off, don't have scarcity mindset. There's plenty to go around. Share this with people. There's plenty of customers to go around for every agency out there. But there's Pixel Helper, and you can check if they're using a pixel. And then you can run on Facebook. There's Facebook ads buying tools, and you can see if they're actually running ads and retargeting. And then if you're running audits and you're sending them an email, it's called an email tester. It's just an extension. And you can see if they're opening your emails. Because if I'm sending an email and you're not opening it, my follow-up is way different than if I sent you an email and you are opening it. I might send you a different video if you are opening it, not responding. I'm not saying the right things. I'm not touching the right pain points. I'm getting you at the wrong time. So there's that for Facebook. And then for Facebook, for running ads in general, I always run them 3 at a time. And one converts better than the other 2. And then I scale that one by 20%. I do that forever and ever until I reach my max budget or I've too many leads, whatever the deal is, that's what I do. But scaling is 20%, nothing more. You can go down as much as you want, but be careful. Don't go below 50% a day because think of Facebook like a significant other. You don't want to just rip money away or give it a lot of money at first. You want to slowly take it away. And then YouTube, there's a lot I use. I use Ahrefs to look up words that people are looking for. And then I'll actually type in phrases and I'll see what YouTube gives me. And then from what I get from them, when I type in a phrase, I'll see how relevant the information is, and how long ago they uploaded it. So if I'm researching something and I see that, a bunch of videos have 500,000-600,000 views, but the latest video is 9-10 months ago, and I release a video on that topic today, I'm going to get rewarded from YouTube for posting that content. I also use a tool called Rapid Tags. It tells me kind of what tags to use. I work off of those tags. I usually have my own tags, but I'll use Rapid Tags to give me better ideas or angles, or if I want 5 more tags, I can't think of them, I'll do that. So those are kind of the tools I use. And Keyword Explorer, there's keyword tools. I also use vidIQ. It just gives me a little bit more data than YouTube does. There's a free one. I think I have the paid one, but they give you a little bit more data, and it just gives it to you in a different layout if you don't like YouTube's layout. I'm sure you can find everything in YouTube's algorithm anyways, but those are just the tools I use for each platform.
That's awesome insight. Thank you for sharing that with us, Horace. Thanks for sharing that with my audience. I'm sure they're going to find a lot of value. There's a lot of real estate agents on here. So anything that you're seeing right now for real estate agents that you can give them, anything quick?
Oh yeah. If they're not running lead form ads, where a lead form ad, all that is if you see an ad and you click, I want more info, and it auto-populates your information, and they're not connecting that to their CRM or a mini chatbot, or they're having a rep call you, because real estate, you kind of want someone calling pretty quickly. If someone's interested in it, you want to pick up the phone, and if I'm a real estate agent, I can't call them 24/7, so I'm showing a house or whatever. I want someone on the phones. I want someone on the phones all the time. So I want to run lead form because they convert better. They're more personalized. I can have customized questions, and then I can tag them inside of my CRM and ManyChat as well.
That's cool. And Amario's asking, what do you think of TubeBuddy? I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, it's very similar to vidIQ. Tomato, both work great. I've just always used vidIQ since I worked with Gary. A lot of people I know that crush it on YouTube use TubeBuddy. Both are great. I've seen TubeBuddy. I have nothing against it, but it works just fine.
Yeah, cool. Very cool. So any big plans coming up, Horace? Anything you want to talk about? Anything you got coming up?
Yeah, well, I wanted to do something special for people who jumped on live. And I'm thinking, Bob, if it's okay with you, what I'll do is I'll just do a completely free audit of 5 people's social media.
Okay.
They'll just send me whatever, and I'll just give them a quick audit, or someone from my team will.
How can they reach out to you?
Business@horacereis.com.
Okay.
Or Instagram. Instagram works well too.
And they could just look you up on your name?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome. Reis.
Awesome. There you go. There's some value there.
Yeah, and I'm happy to do that just for you allowing me to be on your show and people jumping on live.
That's awesome. I wish we had a little bit more time, but you know what? This show has a lot of legs, so we'll be good.
Yeah.
We'll be good. Well, I appreciate it, Horace, for you coming on. It was awesome. I know you're killing it out there. You know a lot about this stuff. So I want to have you on again one day when we have a little bit more time to promote you. But yeah, this was awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a blast.
Thank you so much. And I wish you much luck in your business. And we'll talk soon.
Thanks.
Be in touch, okay?
Okay.
All right, bud. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye. You guys, and again, thank you so much for joining me here on the Q&A show. And I wanted to just go ahead and, if you guys have been watching television, or if you've been it's just really heartbreaking to talk about this, but here in my hometown of El Paso, Texas, we had a huge tragedy where we lost 22 people to a mass murder last Saturday. 22 people killed and dozens injured. And it's just been very heartbreaking. It's been very hard here in the city. And so I just wanted to give my condolences to the family from all of us here at the Q&A show and my agency, and keep us in your prayers, you guys, because this is a tough time. And but again, we wanted to move forward with the show. I didn't want to cancel the show tonight. I wanted to come on live, but we're never going to forget this tragedy that happened. And I just wanted to reach out and give my condolences to the families, and to thank all of the first responders and everybody that helped with this tragedy out here. So you guys, just keep us in your prayers. And thank you for joining me here on the Q&A show. I'll be having a lot more guests coming on, as you know, and please feel free to visit the Q&A.com show, or it's a Q&AShow.com website where we archive all of our interviews, and you'll be able to go back and rewatch this and all of the other guests I've had previous. So stay abreast with us, stay in tune with us, follow us on Facebook, and we'll be coming to with you guys with a lot more information, a lot more cool guests. So thank you so much for joining me here. Until next time, my name is Bob Theriot, and stay safe out there. Bye-bye.